because I really like spoken word. I've written a few little bits, but every time I sort of get up on stage, my knees start rattling, and then my teeth start chattering, and then my hands start shaking like I've been firing a Gatling, and I get these butterflies inside. So I tell them to hide, and I would let them out, but I'm not really sure on how. So they just kind of flutter about for now. And then the first word kind of stutters and stumbles out of my mind, mouth and me, and the second follows slightly more convincingly. And then I realise everybody's looking at me. And I start speaking comfortably, as my body comfortably breathes in and out, providing some form of stability for the thoughts coming out my mouth. Like I've got friends who have been inspired to create the same feeling they have felt. In short, they are inspired to inspire. So they try to climb life's ladder higher, to be seen and to be heard. But someone's having fun, removing run by run. So many I've seen try, and so many I've seen fall, and so many I've seen forced to crawl. Seemingly encaged, they bleed for minimum wage. But as skin thickens, minds weaken. Their once sharp cells become battered and blunted, and I may be a fool, but even I can see that this will happen to me. So I psychologically prepare myself to be beaten down and get back up, to be mistreated and act like I don't give a fuck, to smile into the eyes of the people who destroy lives until I find the right time to rise. And believe me and you, when I do, this world will hear my roar, it will hear me tell the stories of the heroes of minimum wage. That's why I'm constantly putting pen or pencil onto page, not just for me, but for you. So amongst those lying politicians, there's someone telling truth. So this one goes out to everyone, from pensioners to youth, to the street sweepers sweeping floors, to the nurses running wards, to the KPs, to the waiters, to the people who work at Mackie D's. In fact, this one goes out to everyone who's traded money for their dreams. Thanks. I got like a couple of more to do, just to kind of fill in, if that's alright.
Yeah, go for it.
This space between my ears, it may seem small, but it holds 22 years. But what's more than that, it holds the possibility to create, the philosophy to be great, the ability to lay life down on a plate and dissect my dreams, in an attempt to find what I really mean and what makes me want to scream. And at the moment, it's words in the world. I'm trying to find speech patterns to breach what's happened over the last century, over what's meant to be man's most impressive time. But I can see man's reaching the end of the line. See, we've killed off more than we've created. We've turned a loving world into one of hatred. We've disaffected more than we've invented. See, man now wants to turn life into profit. See, man used to know something, but it seems that we've forgot it. And that is that we are part of this world. Even though we've hurled ourselves to the top of the food chain, and it is struggling to take the strain. But you know what I think? A chain's only as strong as its weakest link, so I ain't going to be like the rest and say I don't want celebrity. I need that, but not just for me. I need to get bigger, I need to get better, I need to reach the size so I can snatch the planes from the skies. So when I breathe, it ain't a breath, it's an expulsion, used to stop explosions or corrosion. See, I wouldn't write this word if I didn't want them to be heard. I wouldn't speak them if I didn't think there was a lesson to be learned. But it seems these days, if you're not somebody, you're a nobody, and people will gladly walk over your body. And if you've got something to say, people don't pay attention, even at the slightest mention of something that they don't want to hear. You're crazy. Which just plain frustrates me. It's like lately people have turned their back on the world, and they're only focusing on their own concerns, which mainly seems to be the money that needs to be earned. And it's like, life's bigger than that. I know it's a big part, and I ain't denying that. It's just, when the food runs out, what's going to happen? And is money going to save your ass when the world starts flooding? Thanks. This is kind of like the first sort of bit that I ever wrote, and I wrote it for a girl who once said she saved all her kisses for me, and at the end of the day, this is just called A Very Friendly Line Called Parsley. See, someone once said to me something I felt was true about beauty, and that's beauty isn't something you can see, it's something real. And I finally know what that means now, because when I'm with this girl, I mean, just the way everything feels. I mean, nothing's felt more right than her hand in mine. She makes the rest of my life on this planet feel like wasted time. She makes my heart seem like it's trying to beat out of my body. In fact, the things she makes my heart do, I learned weren't good for me in biology. So why is every time I see her I can't help but smile? This emotion she makes me feel, I just can't seem to file. Because she's got me in a twirl, she's got me in a daze. You know, now what's in front of me, I want a taste of lemonade. And because see, sometimes when she looks into my eyes I forget to breathe. And my heart seems to sink every time she's got to leave. But all it takes is a text, and I'm smiling again. You know, she told me to hug a pillow, but I don't want to pretend, and that's not dirty. It's just, if a bit of contact between our fingers is so divine, how amazing would it be to have her whole body cuddling up to mine? Because see, this one time she leaned in and whispered in my ear, and my heart flustered so much I could barely hear her. She untied her tongues and let loose her lungs. She made my heart pound so loud. Shivering and struggling to breathe, I nearly fell to the ground. As I felt the heat from her breath on my cheek, and I don't want to sound cheesy, but my knees, they went weak. Because I've stood on top of Mount Kenya, and I've watched the sunrise, but there's still an infinite amount more beauty in her smile and in her eyes, and I want to get that across to her. But she doesn't seem to understand that I ain't saying this because I want to get jiggy with her, or even because I want to hold her hand. I'm saying it because it's true, and it's honestly how I feel, and I think she's been told it before, but not from a place that's real. And that's not to say I'm not scared, because most times I'm terrified. In fact, my chest feels like it's going to explode most times I look into her eyes. But she says all this stuff like she's twisted and she's going to break me. And I don't want her to think about herself like that. Which is why I'm trying to let her know she's lovely. And she's got a little bit more experience than I. But surely there gets a time when I get to decide. And she's got this wondrous smile. Well, in fact, she's got two. The first is when she's nervous. But the best is when she's actually smiling at you. And she looks away a lot, but that just makes me look at her more. You know, I'm sorry, there's just too much to say about this girl that I adore. Thanks.